This week's hashtag Wex at Home challenge was to use negative space in your images, and it was my turn to take it on. Now, I was pretty excited about this. I think negative space is a really powerful compositional technique, and it's something I think I do without thinking about it too much, quite a lot actually in my photography. So I was quite excited to actually try to find images using that as my compositional technique. So we were lucky enough this week to get some snow, which I was so happy about. Not much, because I live in the south. We always get rubbish snow, but we got a bit, so I can't moan. And I went out with the camera, and I was lucky enough to see this little robin sitting on a fence, really nice dark green background behind, and some snow falling. So I took this shot. Now, this was the crop that I actually edited this to. I liked the fact that the robin really stood out. I liked the highlighting on him, but actually, I think I could have gone a bit wider. So this is the crop that I'm sort of pulling out for the negative space challenge, which I think is slightly more striking actually. So that's kind of what I'm going with, but that's the great thing. That's the other great thing about negative space. When you're shooting, if you shoot quite wide, you do have a lot to play with in post, which I've always enjoyed. I like that thing that you can use it for one project or another project, or you know, if you're making a photo book, you've got a little bit of scale there to work with. So I think that's quite cool. This next image I got actually on the way back from shooting the robin, it was still snowing a bit, and on my car, which is like a metallic-y blue, some snowflakes had landed, and some of them had landed whole, thank you, and some of them hadn't blown away, which most of them had. And I managed to find this one, which was like fully intact, kind of stuck to the car for some reason, which I was really happy about. And I shot this. Now, as you can see, I used the Sony a7 III and a 90mm macro for this. I could only get so close. I had it on minimum focusing distance, but you could see like the light wasn't great. There was quite a lot of lighter portion of paint to the right side of the image. There was also some broken up snowflakes around the main one, which I thought detracted. So I messed about with this a little bit in Lightroom, cropped it in, kind of brought out some of those blues, but also darkened down that background a little bit, just kind of give it a bit more contrast, brightened up those highlights. And I actually really liked how the image turned out. I thought the snowflake was quite striking. And also I quite liked that it wasn't on center, as in the snowflake wasn't like the right way up. There was something about that for me that I enjoyed, which is weird because normally I'm like, you know, this way, get it straight. But actually I liked it in this image, which is good for me. I then noticed actually I may have a problem with compositionally putting things in the bottom right hand corner. When I took my next image, I set up a little kind of studio at home. I got out some of my, like a little aperture light, just so I could throw a bit of colour. And I got out a little miniature gin bottle, which is a purple bottle, purple glass. And I lit it with this pinkish light, this glow. And then I realised that was to the right as well. And then I finished off with a candle because I like shooting fire, basically, and we can't have big fires because we can't go outside. So I shot this little tea light, again balanced on a gin bottle this time, a bigger gin bottle because lockdown. And this bottle was red glass. So I tried to bring in a kind of reddish background to this. I had the neck of the bottle, which has a pattern on it, just very slightly lit, is a very low warm light that I used. And then I just let the kind of candle speak for itself. And actually, I wish I could have shot this a lot wider. I just didn't have the space to separate that candle from the background, but also get the width that I needed, which was a shame. That's kind of what I wanted to do, but I'm still pretty happy with the shot, and it's quite an easy one to replicate at home, to be honest. I really enjoyed using negative space. It's something that I love to do generally, and I think it's something that you can actually pull into a lot of these challenges that we're putting out. So continue to use it. Again, we'd love to see the images you're coming up with. Make sure to share them with us using hashtag Wex at Home across Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. I also want to put a blog out there. Now, one of my favourite wildlife photographers ever is Ellie Rothney. We've worked with her a few times. I think her work is just great. And she did a blog for us a little while back about using negative space in wildlife or birding photography. And I just loved it. I think it brings us just a certain something to the images. Of course, photography is taste, so might not be for you. But for me, I loved it. So I'm also going to pop a link to that as well, because I think it's a really interesting read. So I hope you guys check that out, have a look, see if you find it interesting. We will have another hashtag Wex at Home challenge coming very, very soon. So make sure to keep an eye on our socials for that. You can, of course, keep up with the rest of the content that we're putting out at the moment. There is a lot. You can tune in on YouTube, where you can subscribe and press the bell to turn on your notifications so you don't miss anything. You can, of course, follow us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram as well. We're also running our weekly hashtag Wex Mondays competition on Twitter and Instagram, where you can win a whole load of Wex vouchers, which is very exciting. So then you can buy loads of stuff. So make sure to get involved in that. But for now, looking forward to the next hashtag Wex at Home challenge. Make sure to tune in for it. Share your images with us. We can't wait to see what you manage to do.